Hi, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since you last saw me, but honestly 2020 was just a year for everyone. A lot happened and we don't really need to talk about it. The setup is a bit different. We're joined with my friends, we're on my beds, it's gonna be a chill type video. Initially I wanted to do a BFI typical vlog that I did last year. 2020 BFI London Film Festival was a bit different. The footage that I got, everything kind of just became a bit repetitive. So I just thought, you know what, let's just sit down, grab a tea, grab a coffee, grab some snacks, and then just tell you about my experience in 2020 because it was very different. I went into this film not knowing anything apart from the fact that this was Regina King's directorial debut and it premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival and it got raving reviews. With a general concept such as a conversation, we have Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, Malcolm X and Jim Brown in a hotel room. The film takes place after Muhammad Ali becomes the world's heavyweight champion and they all want to celebrate the momentous occasion, but Malcolm X has a different idea and brings them into a hotel room where they all talk about their success during the civil rights movement. However, the most interesting part of the film is their disagreements with one another and asking the real important question: what are they doing for the black community? This was the first film I saw at the festival and it was a very moving and powerful piece. For this to be Regina King's directorial debut was highly ambitious of her. The writing of the script is laid out like a theatre play. The cast is so fitting that every single character really resembles the people who they are portraying. They fit into their role so effortlessly and their performance is not one to miss. My one note for this film is to pay attention at the final montage scene in the film because that is when the camera and the editing captures these characters really well because it establishes the characters' individuality. There is something so beautiful and inspiring about the stories Pixar decides to tell and explore, and I was very glad that they decided to explore this one. Soul is a film about Joel Gardner, a middle school teacher with a love for jazz music. He is searching for the one gig, the gig of a lifetime, just to prove to himself that he can do it. After a successful gig audition, he has an accident which results into his soul separating from his body. Soul is the definition of unique. The structure of the story itself felt very refreshing and completely original, as if I was watching a Pixar film for the first time. A concept as broad as purpose, this film fills its runtime perfectly by the visuals, using shapes, colors, sounds, and as a result, it turned out to be brilliant. From the music that is scored by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross from Nine Inch Nails and Jon Batiste, who composed a lot of the original jazz music, it is beautiful. In the midst of this pandemic, I feel like it has put everyone's life on a pause or to rethink everything. Rethink their desires, what they want most from this life, what is there left, etc. The real question that a lot of people are asking, especially now, is what is my purpose? And that film answers the question perfectly. This has been my favorite film of the year so far. Sometimes a film comes along and emphasizes the importance of love and what love does to people, how it can make them stronger, make them a better person, and change them. The things that people do in love, the lengths that some people will go through purely because of love. So safe to say, love is a very powerful thing. Now the only reason I went to see this film was because of Colin Firth and Stanley Tucci, then I ended up crying. So Sam and Tusker, who have been partners for over 20 years, are now traveling across England in an old RE, visiting friends, family and places from their past. However, Tusker was diagnosed with early onset dementia a couple of years ago and their time is limited. Yet as the trip progresses, their ideas about the future clashes and slowly secrets come out and their love is tested like never before. It is not often that you get to see same-sex couples on the screen with the subject matter being about a terminal illness like dementia, especially a couple who are much older. Usually when it's a same-sex couple, the story, whether it be from books, films and plays, always seem to revolve around trauma. However, with this film, it was just nice to see gay people allowed to have other problems as well. There is a lack of representation on this, and at a time where representation is needed the most, especially in film and in other media, it is quite refreshing to know that someone decided to tackle this and tell this story. Nomadland is a story about a woman who embarks on a journey through the western US after losing everything in the Great Recession, living in a van as a modern-day nomad. It is based off the 2017 non-fiction book with the same title, Nomadland: Surviving America in the 21st Century, by Jessica Bruder. Above everything else, this film is about people, real, humble, grounded people. The film cuts around like a person, absorbs like a person, moves and observes like a person, which is so impressive because you can see it within the camera work, in the script, the acting that I personally believe is Frances' best, because it doesn't feel like she's acting at all. It feels like I'm just watching Frances being Frances, and there's no barriers between me as the audience and her as the actress. Nomadland blurs the line between documentary and narrative, and by that I mean you really have to see this film to understand that. But essentially, we are watching Fern's life. We, as the audience, are along for the journey. We are watching Fern adapt to this nomad lifestyle as someone who recently lost everything. Fern, for us, acts as a vessel to guide us into this lifestyle experience. We watch her slowly navigate the ways of being a fairly new nomad while still going through her personal struggles. We are there for her journey. Nomadland is a beautiful piece of film. This was the last film that I saw at the BFI Film Festival, and I have to say, it really disappointed me. It disappointed me because I really wanted to like this film. I wanted to actually be in love with this film, but I just couldn't. And I don't really like talking bad about films because I know what I don't like could be someone's favorite, and that's completely okay, that is fine. But I just want to stress that this is my opinion, and I want to stress that if you want to feel something about this film, if you like the actors, like how I do personally like Saoirse Ronan, feel free to watch this film and form your own opinion. Amonite is about a paleontologist, Mary Anning. The film is set in 1840s England because period dramas are a thing again, they're very popular. A young woman, played by Saoirse, is sent by her husband to live with Mary in hopes to make her feel better because she was sick, and therefore they begin an intimate relationship. On paper, I could see the potential of this film, but the execution of it was not really good. What we have seen Portrait of a Lady on Fire do successfully, this film tries to mimic that and it fails. There's barely a plot, the chemistry between the two characters falls flat, and the entirety of the relationship felt rushed and somewhat forced. Again, this is all my opinion, you do not have to agree with me. As soon as their relationship formed, everything after that became very predictable to me. Nothing excited me. I would have actually preferred that they took the love story out and made it a different story about two women coming from a different class, finding and needing each other and becoming friends. An authentic friendship. That potentially could have worked better. Again, this is all my own opinion. Feel free to form your own opinion if you want to check this film out, and I do really recommend checking all these films out because they are good in their own sense. Maybe not this one, to me just doesn't resonate with me, but it could be your favorite. Overall, I did enjoy the experience and the festival of 2020. I like the elements that they added, such as having the directors, the actors participate in the festival via Zoom and tell us about the films, why they wanted to make this film, and how they themselves are tackling a difficult time in the industry during the whole pandemic. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe and share with family, friends, whoever you want to share it with, or don't. It's up to you. Make sure to check out my letterboxd, which will be linked down below in the description. My letterboxd literally tells you what films I'm watching, what films I'm reviewing. Make sure to check out these films and form your own opinion because that's very important. You don't have to listen to me. I just am saying things in hopes that maybe it will force you guys to watch these films or watch more films in general. Until the next video, I'll see you soon. Bye.